Hey guys, welcome back to my channel. It's Astro here and I'm wishing you all a happy new year. Today is about this lovely Ankara polo. Oh yes, if you want to know how I made it, kindly stay to the end of the video. Don't forget to give this video a thumbs up, drop a comment for me, subscribe and share with your friends. Thank you. The length is 24 inches starting from the shoulder to the hem. The hem has already been done, so I won't be adding hemming allowance, and as you can see the fabric is on fold, which means I'll be cutting both front and back together. I'll mark down my length measurements and I'll square up a line. This line is my shoulder line. I'll mark down my armhole line as well, which is 9 inches, and I'll square up the line. And this line is my bust line. Next is my waist line, which is 15 inches. I'll mark and square up the line as well. And here is my waistline. Below the waistline is my hemline, which is already done. Shoulder, bust line and waistline. So starting from the shoulder, I'll mark down my shoulder measurements. I'll mark that down on my bust line as well. My shoulder measurement is 8 inches, by the way. I'll mark that down on my bust level as well, and I'll connect both marks together. Be marking down my bust measurement, which is 9 inches on my bust line. My waist measurement, which is 8 inches. I'll mark it down on my waistline as well. And then my hip measurement, which is 10 inches. I added 1 each for ease. I didn't actually add any ease to my bust measurement, but I added ease to my waist and my hip measurement. So here I am connecting the lines together. So what I did was, after connecting the hip to the waist and waist to the bust, I used my French curve to smooth out the sharp edge. After that, I discovered that I don't really want it to be like that, with that curvy, and also I just made it straight instead. I connected a straight line from my bust to my hip, and that was it. Next is my neck area. I measured 3 inches away from my center front, then 3 inches away from the shoulder towards my bust line as well, to give me the front neckline, and then 1 inches for the back neckline. And I connected the back neckline first, then I connected the front neckline. I'll be cutting out the back. I'll be removing the back first before I cut out the front. So now to the shoulder, I came down by 1.5 inches for the back shoulder slope, then I connected it to the neckline. Then for the front shoulder slope, I came down by 2 inches and I connected it to the neckline as well. So that's what I've done so far while the camera was off. So now let's continue. Now we're going to be determining our armhole curve. So I started with the back armhole. I divided the back. You can see where the back shoulder slope started. I divided it into two, and that was 7.5. The full length 7.5, into two was 3 and 3/4. I made a mark there, and on that mark I went in towards my center front by ½ inch. Then I connected that with a straight ruler to my shoulder slope, so my back shoulder slope. After which I used my curve ruler to make a nice curve, a really nice curve. You can use your hand if you're good with free hand. You could also use a French curve if you have one. Now to the front armhole. To the front armhole, I divided the front armhole into two as well, and that gave me 3.5. I made a mark there. And I went inside towards my center front by 3/4. You can see the shoulder line, so you have to measure from there. After that, I connected it straight back to my shoulder slope, and then I used my curve ruler to finish it off. Nicely. You could use your hand to smoothen things out. Just do it however you please. Sorry, everything is just so messy. So now I'm adding my seam allowance to the side. And now I am done. I'll cut off. Oh, before I cut off, I just added ½ inch actually to my back shoulder before I started cutting it off. So like I said, I'll be cutting out the front and the back side first. I'm done cutting it out. I'll remove the back side, and then I will finish up the front pattern. Now I will add my ½ inch to the front shoulder as well before cutting off the excess. And I'll trim off the excess on the armhole as well, and we are done with our back and front pattern. Now onto the sleeve. The length of my sleeve is 7.5 inches, actually 8 inches. Yeah, from the top of the sleeve I came down by 5 inches, and I extended the marking and I squared up my line like that. After that, I marked down the length of my sleeve and I squared up a line as well. Now I'll mark my armhole, my shoulder, the same measurements I had on my shoulder. That's what I marked down. I reduced it by half though because this fabric is stretchy. It's a crepe fabric. Then I connected the dot back to the top like so. Now I'll divide that line into two, and then I will go down by ½ inch. I'll make a mark there, and I'll go down by ½ inch. Then I'll connect that ½ inch I'll connect the 1/2 inch with my curve ruler nicely to form my armhole. Blend it nicely. I marked out my round sleeve measurements, which is 6.5, and then I connected it back to the bicep. And then I'll connect it together. Then I'll add my seam allowance, and we are done with the sleeve. Now cut out my sleeve. Here are all my pattern pieces, the 2-piece front and back. You can see them. My sleeve curve, it's a little bit smaller than the sleeve because it needs to be stretched out. And here is my placket. These are their respective measurements. And here is my collar and my collar band, what I'll use to bind the to tape down the neck after sewing my collar on it. It is about the same length as the collar. So my collar is 18 inches. So now I'll start by fixing my placket. So in order to fix my placket, I notched the center of my front piece. After notching the center, I'm determining the length of my placket, which is 7 inches, and then I marked out 1/2 inch starting from the center front, and I connected the 2 lines together like so. I'll do the same on the other side of the fabric. As you can see, that's 1/2 inch. The placket length is 7 inches. I'm repeating the same thing on the other side of the shirt. Now I've opened it up and this is what I have. I'll make a mark at the center as well to eliminate any form of confusion. So here is what I have. Now I'll bring out my placket pieces. This placket is 3 inches wide. On fold it is 1.5 inches wide. So I'll make the same marking, the same 1/2 inch marking on the placket, and I'll also mark down the length of the placket on the placket as well. I'll do the same thing. While doing this, let the right side of the placket be facing the right side of the fabric. Marking down the same 1/2 inch on this other side of the placket too. I'll connect the lines and then I'll mark down my 7 inches placket length. Then I pinned down the placket to the fabric to keep it firm while running the stitches around the lines I've made. I ran a stitch around like so, Now I'll cut open the middle parts. While doing this, do it gently so you don't cut the fabric mistakenly. So then I finished trimming out my extra allowances. So I've trimmed out everything. I didn't know my camera was off while I was trimming it off, so but it's not a big deal. So next I folded the placket into two and I pinned it down to secure it firmly. This guy firmly, and then I turned it over like so. Our placket is looking good already. Now I'll go and stitch down that part in order to secure it nicely. I finished stitching it, and this is what we have. This is what we have. It has been nicely secured. Trimmed off all the excesses at the neck area, and then I divided the placket into two and make a mark in between. You can see the notch. I divided it into two and I notched the center. So now I'll join my I will go and join the two shoulders together, and I'll come back and fix the collar. I finished joining the two shoulders together, as you can see. So next thing is to attach our collar. So before that, I measured the neck of my shirt to be sure that it tallies with the measurement I have here. With the neck, I just measured the 17 inches, and this my collar pattern is 18 inches. So I'm going ahead to stitch away ½ inch on both sides in order to give us the exact 17 inches. Recall that the placket is 3 inches wide in total, so here I am notching the center of the 3 inches. I turned the placket to the wrong side. Now I'll place my collar in between the plackets at that notch I made the first time. The notch I made at the middle of the placket, that is where the collar will start from on one side of the neck, and it will end at that same spot on the other side of the neck. As you can see, this is the placket. I am placing the collar in between the plackets at that center notch that I made. You can see the notch right at that center notch that I made when I divided the placket into two and notched it ahead. So that's how you connect it. So I've gone ahead to stitch it, and it all stitched nicely. So the next thing is to sew that strip that I cut that has the same measurement as the collar. I was supposed to connect it the first time, but I didn't want to confuse us. So if you can just sew all together at once, fine. But if you can't, you can as well sew it like this. So you place it on the wrong side at the exact place the collar started from. That's where you sew it. That's where you sew it, and I finished sewing my own. Sew it round. I'm trimming off all the excesses. You can see the strip It's more like a bias tape for taping down the neck. So now I'm going to stitch down the tape. You can see it. I'm going to run a stitch on it like so, so that the neck will look nice and firm. So I finished stitching it, and this is what I have. I will extend the line and then I'll top stitch on the collar, on all the sides of the collar, to hold it firmly. So I finished top stitching. Now I'm going to add my sleeve to both sides. I have successfully added my sleeve. Now I'll connect the side seams and join it together, and then I will give 3 inches allowance, 3 inches slit at the sides. Now I'm going to add my cuff to the sleeve. I'm going to add my cuff to the sleeve. This is how you add the cuff. You can add it in any way that you deem fit. My weaving machine is faulty at the moment, so I could not weave the fabric, but if you have weaving machine, please weave yours so that your work can be way neater than mine. I've finished attaching my button and we are done. Thank you so much for watching. If you enjoyed this video, kindly give it a thumbs up, share your thoughts with me in the comment section, share this video with your friends, and don't forget to subscribe to my channel. See you in my next video. Bye.